aggro?
Nah.
Oh, shit. That scared the fuck out of me. Alright, back in Metahuman. So we just got done interviewing Claudette, and now we have Doctor Strange coming up next. So.
It's not Doctor Strange, remember.
It's the bad guy from Resident Evil 2.
What? No.
Nemesis.
No.
Eh?
No.
Eh?
No, the dude from Constantine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. It's been a day. I forgot. You chat with her a few minutes more, though of course she's already well versed in the practical aspects of the job. Then you thank her for her time and walk her back to the waiting room. You assure Claudette that Metahuman's Human Resource Department will be in touch with her shortly to let her know your decision. As she departs, you turn your attention to Professor Nemesis. The man is reading a magazine about motorcycles. He closes it and places it on the waiting room table. Let's go, he asks. If you would. Excellent, he says, standing and following you. That's a fine selection of magazines you have there, by the way. You're really happy with the voice, aren't you?
Yeah, because Nemesis is apparently fully blown Jamaican.
More islander than Jamaican. Nemesis sits opposite of you. Thank you for coming today, Professor. You begin. Before we get started, I was curious about... Let me preempt your questions, he cuts in. You're concerned I might be a risk for the company. You've no doubt heard the brain-eater sobriquet that's attached to me. And your researchers have recounted to you the list of crimes I've been accused of and acquitted in the past. And so now you're primarily wondering how long it will be before the media accuses me of yet another heinous act, and whether the potential benefits I might bring to this company significantly outweigh the potential bad publicity.
Publicity?
Yeah. I may not have been quite so on the nose with my questions, you tell him, but yes, you're largely right. Then I'll answer that question, he says. Yes, I am worth the risk. I am a sorcerer of supreme power, certainly as powerful as a man can become and retain his sanity. Furthermore, I specialize in the permanent alteration of the human form, as does Metahuman.
Big dicks.
We are a fine match, you and I. Would you like to go out sometime? Far more so than any other candidate you will see. He stops there. You aren't entirely sure how to answer such a boastful claim, so you simply say, I see. Well, now that that's out of the way, he says, do you have any other questions for me? It's disappointing to see you were late to today for such an important interview. That's not a great sign. You changed your name. Were you once known as Mark Thorne? Why? I have to ask, do you eat brains, and where does this nickname spring? Your qualifications, yes, koala, as a professor is in psychology. That's a strange background for a sorcerer.
No.
No. I understand that you have experience in creating enhancements. Would you tell me something about that? I'm gonna ask him about the brains. He smiles. No, I don't. I've occasionally consumed another's life energies, and these were willfully given, as any other form of currency might be. But eating brains? Let's say that's a metaphor, or a label assigned by those who have no actual knowledge of sorcery. Or both. It's disappointing to see you were late for such an important interview. I don't give a fuck about that one. I want to know the other ones. Mark Thorne no longer exists, says Nemesis. He was a man who once made a deal with a being from another plane, a being of immense power. Certain favors were granted in exchange for his soul, the very mind and essence of Mark Thorne. In order to sidestep that obligation, Mark Thorne had to cease to be, and replaced by someone else. Such things can be done. It was not merely a case of changing a name. History itself, all the interweaving lives that Mark had influenced, everything was erased. If you track down Mark Thorne's parents, they'll have no recollection of a child of that name. That sounds like an incredible sacrifice. He shrugs. It is just the way it is, was, man. Constantine. And
I'm
yet there's
that guy's name. I can't remember his name.
Neither can I. Let's call him Zimbabwe. And yet there were still records of Mark Thorne, you say. He has a birth certificate, a social security number. These extraplanar beings, call them demons if you prefer, have little use for human bureaucracy. Consequently, it is often neglected in these types of rituals. Records exist, yes, but try to find someone who ever actually met this Makton. You won't. So he's oh, that's why they call him the Brain Eater, because he erases all memories of them. Wow.
That would be stupid.
Wow. Your qualifications as a professor in psychology.
I'm
curious about that one, yeah. Yes. I taught psychology for several years in Britain. Oh, no, I gotta do a fucking British accent. God damn it. How do you mix Jamaican and Britain? I find it an interesting field, chap. Though it will never be my greatest passion. I suppose my study of psychology, forgive me, I've eaten far too many brains today, was a means to an end. As a young man, I was drawn to the academic lifestyle, the atmosphere of studies and parties, and the self-indulgence of students newly liberated from their parents' watchful gaze. I fucked a lot of women, and occasionally men.
You're done.
Of course, those few institutions that encourage formal study of magic are hidden away from the sight of public at large, and they are hardly the gay, joyous environments I'd so set my heart on. Dr. Nemesis is a rainbow.
Possibly. I believe it.
Instead of the Rasta flag, he's just got like a rainbow. So I studied psychology, a real subject, in addition to sorcery. It allowed me to live and learn amid the unenlightened flock, he grins. I'm really a people person, you know. You weren't attracted to your career in medicine, you ask?
Papa Midnight.
Papa Midnight, that's right. No, I am a sorcerer first and foremost, and second, a businessman, because it grants me the capital to further develop my true craft. Still don't give a fuck about him being late, so I understand you have experience in creating enhancements. Would you tell me about that?
Could you make niggas big dick pills?
Nemesis scratches his chin thinking, the first thing I ever did was shrink a hamster. And then I grew it back. Unfortunately, the spell worked too well, and he became a Tyrannosaurus, man. You wouldn't believe the shit I've seen. I had to eat his brain. I've enhanced my own physical frame, yes, and on occasion the bodies of others. But my work has always been a very individual, bespoke nature. I have never mass-produced enhancements, as I would here at Metahuman. Can you give me specific examples of your work to date? I wish I could give you a demonstration, he says, but my abilities are not exactly the showy kind. I channel magical energies far more efficiently than a non-augmented human form would. Your profile mentions that you're also stronger and faster than most. A smile. I am a hunter, when the mood takes me. And yes, I have changed my body to facilitate that. He doesn't seem inclined to elaborate further, and you're not entirely sure you'd want him to. I still don't give a fuck. So, that's the end of those questions. Then I have a question for you, says Nemesis. First, let me make clear the reason for my interest in this company. I am not here for money. This for the salary that you offer, though I'm sure it is quite a generous one. I already have, or can easily obtain, any material resources I might require. I'll confess that the opportunity to work here with extensive sorceress facilities at Metahuman does intrigue me somewhat. But the real reason I want to work for you is that I have been independent for too long. I have always been wholly responsible for my own choices, my own destiny. But now, I feel the constraints of maintaining such independence, such absolute authority, more and more. I am beset by chores that I have little time or inclination for. For the first time in my life, I feel the desire to work within established structure, even though this means bowing to the authority of another. This is important for my own development now, and the name Metahuman Incorporated is spoken with such awe across every plane of existence. If I am to work within the breast of an established company, it must be yours. No less a competitor will suffice. You mentioned a question? I did, yes. This relationship must flow in two directions. Employ me, and I will support this company with my absolute devotion and considerable skill. But you will also provide me with that same support? I have made enemies and will likely continue to do so. Perhaps the police will one day plague me once more with more accusations of crime or of murder. Perhaps a more powerful otherworldly being will decide to hunt for me, for vengeance or for simple sport. My question is, when that day comes, will Metahuman shield me from my enemies? Can I depend on you to protect me from those who might wish to do me harm?
I don't know. This dude sounds like it takes a lot of responsibility for him.
Professor, I assure that should we recruit you, we will give you any help you might require. I might help you against the forces of the law, but I have no wish to anger such forces as demons. Where I read this fucking story, I get tired.
Against demons, yes, but
the state of Washington is too scary to contend with. No, you are here to carry out a job. Your problems outside of work are your own. Deal with your shit. No, and I would ask for a guarantee that you will cease all criminal activity before I consider employing you. Should we recruit you or give you any help you might require? Fuck it. Excellent, he says. I can see that this may be the start of a long and mutually lucrative relationship. He stands up, offering you his hand. When you go to shake it, he instead reaches and grabs your dick, thanking you for this time, and then he leaves. For anyone who's blind and can't actually read this story, I all the things that we're saying, they're gonna be like, what the fuck kind of a story is this?
This type of story.
Finally, once the afternoon is over and all three candidates have been seen...
Stop it. It's not part of the... It's not part of the reading.
The time comes to make your choice. Claudette Byron is a technological genius, though somewhat inexperienced in the corporate field in general. Still, should you wish to specialize in the ultra-high technology of super science, she should be a good choice. Nemesis is an expert sorcerer and Jamaican, which is also a bonus, and would enable your company to specialize in more witchery. Through recruiting him would also entail some acceptance of his unethical activities. Perhaps he would bring unwelcome attention to Metahuman.
It doesn't matter. We're hiring John Tar.
Yeah, I know. Okay, well, fuck all this stuff. Remember that you can view all three candidates' stuff in the stat screen. It takes a while, but last you were on your firm choice. I fucking stop. I hire John Tar. Alright. You hear that John Tar is excited to receive an offer and eager to start work at once. As you are preparing to return to your apartment that evening, tired and bleary-eyed, there is a knock on your door. It is Robert Leach. Do you have a moment? Of course. You know, I really want to start doing voices for the other people in this story as well, but I'm afraid I might lose track. God,
I was hoping Nemesis would just be knocking at the door. You didn't hire me.
You didn't hire me, man. I swear to God, I'm going to turn you into a newt. I go better. A moose bit my sister.
What?
What? All of those are Monty Python references. Learn. He enters and sits. What voice can I use for Leech? I don't remember what his physical description was either, so I can't. Robert Leach. Your predecessor. No, I'm trying to think. What name? What kind of a voice? Give me a character, and I'll see what I can do with it.
English.
Your predecessor. Oh.
Not proper.
not right cheeky. All right.
Yeah. Let's go as far left as you can.
Let's go as far left as we can. Well, goddamn. That's right. That's far right. I'm gonna. All right. Your predecessor, on and on and on, always valued my willingness to present an alternative perspective on a situation.
Cusco.
Right. The poison. Cusco's poison. Peter, I don't. I'd like to think that I have that same relationship with you. I'm willing to listen to anything that concerns you, you tell him. Thank you.
He's not laughing. Stop laughing.
There are two matters. First, I've been preoccupied by one of the candidates for head of research that you rejected. Professor Nemesis, the Brain Eater. The man is a killer. That's never been proven. But I'm sure you're as capable of reading between the lines of the matter. Now, the police have never been able to touch him, mostly because every time they get close, he turns out to be a hologram. But Metahuman's influence has, in certain circles, always extended a little further than that of the police. I wonder if we have a responsibility to curb his predatory activities. What do you suggest? I don't suggest anything, he says with a very weary smile. He's had a long day as well. I'm merely pointing out alternatives. I believe you aren't yet acquired with our security facilities here. They might surprise you. It's well within this company's power to watch Professor Nemesis, or even discreetly detain him for as long as you like, indefinitely even. Or, should you so wish, we could find a more permanent solution.
Are they suggesting killing him?
Kronk's gonna fucking put the brick to his head. Professor Nemesis's activities don't concern me. Let him do what he will. I have no proof against Nemesis. I won't take action against him. Keep him under surveillance. Transmit any proof of criminal activity to police. Have him being watched, but keep the information at Metahuman for any possible future use. I like that option. I authorize a permanent solution. Let's bring this hunting to an end.
Yeah, go with that one. Screw it. I like that one better.
I'll make the necessary arrangements, says Leech. You mentioned there was a second issue? You say? There is.
Says Leech.
That's it. That's the end of the story. Story's over. Says Leech. Ms. Byron. Her too? The woman is a security risk. She knows Metahuman's projects and process intimately. And now that she's been
processors?
and now that she's been fired here, she's likely to be snapped up by a rival firm, probably Scion. Damn those multiple colored fucking cabal bastards.
Really? Cabal bastards?
Why? It's the destiny, my friends.
I know. And I was thinking of the Matrix and shit, so...
I don't fucking care about the Matrix. I've never given a shit about the Matrix. I watched the first one like a year ago and didn't give a shit about it then. It's actually the first time I watched the Matrix now that I think about it. They can afford to give her the facility she's used to, or maybe even one of the smaller companies. It would be regrettable to have to take action against Miss Byron. Personally, I'm not rather fond of her. We used to have a thing, you see. But the same options exist for her as Professor Nemesis. We can fucking murder this bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit, let's fucking kill her. God, I wanna have the positive outcome in this, and I don't know anything about the story, and I don't know if there's gonna be like super negative consequences later on for killing her.
So let's just keep her.
Bring her in and detain her. No, watch her. She is respecting the clause of her severance package. As long as she does, we'll take no action against her. I like that one.
Yeah.
Kill her. No. All right. I'll get it done, he says. Good evening. He leaves you alone in your office. The month continues to race past, and your work obligations grant you precious little time to contact friends and family members.
Fuck them.
Many of them have called you, concerned that you're dead.
We are.
When you answer the phone and say, I'm not dead, that's all the assurance they need. Increasingly, those people seem to belong to a former life, the life you lived before assuming your responsibilities as the head of Metahuman. You begin to welcome lunch meetings and dinner appointments away from your office. At least that way it almost seems as if you have a modicum of a social life. One such occasion comes at the end of the month when Mahadi
Oh, yes, a terrorist.
Shut the fuck up. Did you hear about that?
What?
The guy who got banned from a public beta test because his name matched that of a known terrorist. It was like a random search thing, and the name that he signed up with was like, nah, bruh. Clearly the terrorist that's hiding in a bunker that's 4 feet underground and has no internet is playing an online beta.
Obviously.
When Ahmed arrives in Seattle, he is the principal buyer for a major medical product supplier in Asia, as well as a buyer and consultant for several government agencies in that same area. As non-core products, Metahuman's pharmaceutical range is not restricted by the same legal injunction currently blocking development and sales of the company's existing enhancements. You're essentially depending on the sales of these smaller non-core products right now to keep the company alive. Mahadi has asked to meet with you during his trip to the United States, and though he's been somewhat sketchy about the precise areas he wishes to discuss, you know that he has the influence to place a large order with Metahuman, giving the company a very welcome revenue boost. Leach informs you that Mahadi is a keen golfer, a shame that January weather in Seattle precludes such a sport. Instead, you meet him at a top-end restaurant, the Cupola?
Freckle bitches.
At the Freckle Bitches. He is an amiable Saudi Arabian with keen multicultural perspective on various business and political world events. He attributes this last feature to his Australian wife. I tend to see things through the lens of my Middle Eastern upbringing, he says with a smile. She is the one who reminds me that the world is immense and filled with viewpoints quite different from my own. Oh, God, I want to do a fucking Saudi Arabian accent, but I'm afraid I'm going to come off super racist. Because I don't know what Saudi Arabian people sound like.
Give it a shot. I want to hear what your interpretation is.
All right. The two of you spend an hour engaged in pleasant small talk and enjoying good food. But then, when the subject turns to work, he looks at you and asks, Allahu Akbar.
See, that was racist.
Okay, that was pretty bad.
That was sacrilegious.
I don't give a fuck about religion. Between you and me, away from all the ears of the journalists. I don't know what a Saudi Arabian sounds like. I've never actually talked to someone from there. I've talked to people of Arabic descent, but like they were fucking Canadian, so you know they had
a friend who was from like Yemen.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Are you, like, from Yemen, or like...
Yeah, he was from Yemen.
Like, he moved here from Yemen? Not like his parents were Yemenites?
He moved here from Yemen.
Yemenis? Yemenopians? I don't know. Well, shit, I just realized that 80% of our views for these videos come from Saudi Arabia. Hello, friends! Please send me a video of you speaking so I can get a general understanding of what you sound like so I can potentially use your voices. I love you. I can answer honestly. I don't know if I'm the right person for the job. Mr. Kakakakaka recognized something special in me. I say, voicing my thoughts. I lie. I think kind of Joanne.
Yeah, I'm just gonna let you pick this one.
Offer really false modesty. Inward, I believe I can do this job well. I haven't really decided yet.
The option to punch someone in the dick.
I wish that was an option. I wish every game, like every option, had punch insert name here in the dick. I don't know if I'm the right person for the job. Well, shit.
Go ahead, pick. I'm not going to choose this one.
I just hope I live up to people's expectations. Sure. I mean, I don't...
Nope, go for the first one. No, wait,
I like Time Will Tell, I suppose, or...
Yeah, just pick that one. Pick the last one. Just leave it as...
I don't know, I like that. Mahadi nods and then presses on. Alright, Oh, God, I can't do a Saudi Arabian accent. This is driving me crazy. I don't even know what a fucking Saudi Arabian person sounds like. Oh my god!
Google it.
All right,
Google it.
I'm gonna have to think super fucking racist here in order to do your best telecom person.
Telecom person?
Yeah, your best technical support person.
But them niggas are from India.
All right. Oh, shit, you're right. That was horribly racist. Oh, I feel horrible. God damn it. I'm an American, so please don't hate me. We're very... Shit, I forgot the word. I love that fucking 3 seconds of silence in the audio wave, by the way. Not biased. Ignorant to the world around us, I guess. We're culturally diverse in the sense that there's a lot of different cultures here, but most of those cultures are then suppressed.
Not necessarily. So. Well,
I mean,
not most of us, but me and Will generally just don't give a fuck.
That and the fact that we live in the middle of fucking nowhere right now, so like the most racial diversity we have here is black, white, Mexican, and 2 Asian people. Not kidding, there are 2 Asian people in Cairo, and that's it. America.
Fuck yeah.
And will you defy the plans and wishes of Metahuman's rather sinister founders and former leaders if it becomes necessary? Will you turn the company away from its former dark designs? No. This time I am almost honest. If I can inject some light into Metahuman's dark influence, I will. I like that one already.
Alright, so let's go with that.
Alright, fuck it. We're not going to read the other options.
Yeah, fuck him.
Mahadi takes a sip of wine and then changes tack. I met with just a couple of weeks before his disappearance. Oh? He waves away your inquiring look. We only talked about work. He gave me no indication that he would vanish the way that he has. Specifically, we talked about Penifrom 5? Penifrom 5 was a malaria vaccine developed by Metahuman that is currently undergoing human trials and looks like it may be launched for sale in the near future. It has the potential to greatly reduce the number of malaria cases in the poorer regions of Asia. Asia. What the fuck?
Anthrax.
That was a fucking Osmosis Jones. Holy shit, that was a good movie.
Thrax.
Hey, baby. I don't know why I went Austin Powers with that. It's not... Okay. It has the potential to greatly reduce the number of malaria cases in the poorer regions of Asia. It renders a subject immune to malaria with just 1 injection, though you know that the other variants of Pentafrom exist that require regular booster shots to maintain the immunity. Huh. Mr. Katakataka spoke very persuasively about Penifrom 5's effectiveness. We're going to just call it P5 from here on out, because I'm not about to... P5. So much that I'd be willing to place a substantial order right now on behalf of the agencies I represent. An efficient one-off vaccine for malaria is an attractive proposition. Of course, your company would make far more money if you were to supply a less efficient drug, one that required the regular purchase of the booster treatment. Perhaps I could forget all about and tell agencies that I represent about some less efficient product instead. Of course, I would be expecting a small percentage of all future transactions, as well as a broker's fee for setting up such a deal.
No, you ain't get shit.
Ahmed Mahadi is asking you to help him deceive his employers. If you conceal the existence of P5, you can guarantee repeat sales of the less efficient booster treatments against malaria in the future. Of course, you'll also be exploiting numerous health agencies in Asia and forcing hundreds of thousands of people to suggest themselves to regular injections rather than one quick shot vaccine. You spoke to Anakanaka about this? You ask? And he was in favor of supplying the less efficient variant of Penifrom? Yes, he was. The health of those at risk of malaria is my main concern. We will make Penifrom 5 available for purchase as planned. Yes, let's forget about P5. I'll draw up a contract for the sales of less efficient variants as well as booster shots. Mr. Mahadi, you've inspired me to help those in Asia. I will make Penifrom 5 available as planned and sell it at a reduced price to the government agencies and NGOs. I have no interest in profiteering from the treatment of those at risk of a disease. I will gain large quality... Well, I'm a businessman, aren't I? So I have to do the booster shots. I mean, I don't give a fuck. Now, he smiles. You have made Mahadi a very wealthy man. The remainder of the dinner passes pleasantly enough. You bid Mahadi a good night and climb into the back of your Cadillac. You hope you have made the right choice for this evening.
Nope.
For Metahuman, and for the thousands of people who are affected by your decision. You are keenly aware of the presence of Metahuman's nebulous shareholders watching you, judging from afar. I don't give a fuck. They're afar.
So far.
Alright, well, I'm going to end this right here, and we will pick it back up in the next episode. So, thank you for watching.
Like.
Share.
Subscribe.
And forget all of our accidental racism.
No, that shit was funny. Laugh at it.
Good day.
Yeah.
Bye.